So you did a panel presentation a while back, Al, at one of the brokerages that I happen to be attending, and an individual, an agent, real estate professional, made a comment during the panel presentation that that person was asking for advice on how to deal with a client that was extremely difficult, very challenging to work with, and is fully absorbing that person's time. And it's important to understand that when we get to work with those individuals, we choose to work with those individuals, we are allowing that energy coming our way, and it really interrupts our own flow too, our own energy. So that because they're absorbing so much of our time, it keeps us from really working with the people that truly want to work with us and are the most amazing clients and the most gentle clients and the ones that match our vibe. We'll call it that. As a result, what I feel is one needs to let those people go because we stay with them because we need the paycheck, we need the money, we need the value. Instead, if you release them, as you mentioned, some of them choose to work with challenging people, release them so that you can go and work with, instead of one that absorbs 100% of the time, work with five that are fun, incredible, and only each takes about 10% of your time because they are part of who you are. They're connecting with who you are. My belief system has been, if a client is extremely difficult to work with, we're not their best choice. We are not right for them.
It has to be a partnership.
It has to be a partnership.
And you have to be going the same direction at the same pace at the same time. And that includes the intention for selling or buying. And a lot of realtors won't ask deeper questions, but I challenge them to, like, how much money do you have to put down? Do you have any money for repairs? What is your stretch? We want to stay away from that. We don't want you to feel forced to have a comfortable experience.
Right.
On the listing side, what are you doing with all the money? Is it going to something else? Because sometimes they'll be buying something else. They won't even tell them, or they'll be in an experience where they need a certain amount for whatever their goal is, and you don't know about it. And now it's time to drop the price, and the person's refusing because they didn't share this detail that this is their hard line. And if you'd have known that from the beginning, maybe it wasn't the best listing in the first place.
You're absolutely right.
And so asking these deeper questions are a part of the partnership, are a part of the greater vision and experience. If we're going to do this together and we're going to buy this home together, if we're going to sell your home together, this partnership has to be one of mutual respect, of openness, so we can understand all the facets, so I can give you the greatest experience, the greatest outcome that I can. Because if we can afford this or we can do that, these are all little chips that we can use in negotiations on the buy side and on the sell side.
As a realtor, or we call it a real estate advisor even, based on what you're saying too, our reputation will determine our future. It's important to come in and supporting our clients because sometimes they don't know what they don't know. Okay. You can't just show up with a doctor and say, I hurt. Well, where? When you deal with a client, one is the expert. One needs to be asking the questions. And if we're uncomfortable, then we're not secure. We need to make sure that we feel very comfortable asking the good questions, the challenging questions, the difficult questions, because at the end of the day, it gives you an entire picture of what that client wants to do. And then you may advise them correctly and give them options as to what their choices are to be able to make the best outcome. When you are on the same page with the buyer or the seller, guess what? It flows. But when there's surprises because one failed to tell them that there's potential challenges coming their way, it's not going to end well. And guess what? They tell others.
Yeah, it's challenging. And even to go further, when it's a very emotional process.
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to be typically one of the biggest purchases you'll ever make in your life. There comes a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. And so a realtor, when you can build that kind of foundation, then you have some level of coaching that you're really doing. When it comes to thoughtfulness of even timelines, like, hey, you said this is your critical timeline. This is a little bit less, but this is going to give you the outcome at the greatest rate that you want. If we wait, you go against your own timeline. You will go against the required money that you're looking for in the time you need it. And so I'm here to tell you this is the best option based on all of your parameters. Or even to say, listen, I know this is stressful, but this is what we started. This was the agreement we had. We're going to get through this together. Just be patient in this process. Here's again all the reminders. Here's the updates. Here's everything we're doing. And this is going to work. To become
So
that coach is so huge.
communication is key, and understanding the market is key. So as a realtor, you just can't put your realtor hat on and show up at a door and present. You have to understand what's happening in the neighborhood as well. You have to be able to analyze, because data will tell you a lot. As an engineer with my background, I love analyzing information. I love creating lots of data, and I'm not here to overwhelm a client with data. My goal is to understand it on my end and share the highlight.
If there's agents out there watching this, searching for a brokerage, their true home, what message would you have for them?
You know, I know there's some great brokerages everywhere. Everybody's leveling up. What I can say for our home, and which I can speak for, meaning our brokerage, is that we are here to make sure we support them in all aspects of the business. We're not only here to teach them how to sell. Most of them understand that part, but to help them understand how to connect with a client. And how does that start? Starts with one first, with ourselves. And so if we can coach them, we can support them in understanding their true value, their true source, their true selves, so that they can go out there and connect instead of just randomly searching for whomever. They will find their tribe. If you understand your tribe and you connect with like-minded individuals that are extremely positive, and get away from all the environments where there's a lot of negative noise. Oh, the woe is me, the water cooler coffee or coffee talk where people talk about how bad the market is. We don't have that. Why? Because we don't even think of it. In general, our market, our environment is positive, is vibrant, is supportive, is educative. We create energy. And honestly, by getting ourselves out and about and understanding what's there to be, you can learn so much from that. And my goal is, for me, as a leader, as a company owner, as a TruCore Agency owner, is I know what it takes from the beginning to where it is to own our brokerage. So also to build a very formidable, results-driven team, I can share what I did with those around so that they can implement in their environment as well, so they can create the same results. At the end of the day, is about creating and supporting those that need us. And there's a lot of people out there that need our resources right now. And if we can guide them on how to best do that, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, beautifully said. Right now, what do you think the difference is in your mindset? What is the practice that you're doing that's really making the difference in your mindset?
You have to, first of all, we have to understand there will always be up and down markets, and that's in every market. That's real estate, stock market, you name it. However, in every market, there's a tremendous amount of success. I had my best years when the market crashed personally. And what seems to be interesting is I hear other individuals just recently that they're having their toughest year yet. I'm not diving into that. I'm letting that go and focusing on mine.
What is the practice you do every day that
I meditate. First of all, I wake up every morning knowing that what I do, I love what I do. And understanding that if I did not like what I do, then I probably wouldn't have the energy I have to do that. However, because I love what I do, I love supporting people, I love creating, and then I do my visualization. I do have a vision board as well, by the way, every day that reminds me of my goals. I'm a big visual person, so in my mind functions that way, where I've created my annual, and I do that every year, and I've done it for the last 15 years, where I know what I'm looking for. So when you visualize that and you are grateful for what you have and you meditate for what you want to create that day, guess what? After that, it's a full day. It really is a full day. Yes, noise happens, but it's how you handle it.
what is your countering? How do you counter when noise happens?
Oh, it happens every day. For me, I just don't dwell on it. I understand that people have emotions, and I have to go through that. Is what is the real reason that is happening? I can also get excited for whatever if I wanted to, but I choose not to, because that's not the way to answer it. So if somebody calls me and is very upset about a scenario, I understand that that's their emotion first, as I recognize that.
Awareness.
Awareness, I recognize that, and that's important for them. But at the end of the day, what is the true cause of that? If I can ask a question or two or three to get to the root issue and resolve it, because that's my gift, I'm a problem solver. And some of them, people just want to vent, and that's okay. So when you hear it and you get to the root of the source and then provide feedback or a solution, that stops that. And for me, it's not just that people are out there with a lot of noise. There's a need to solve challenges, whether it's the anxiety of selling a house. And I know that our systems are very effective and work very well. And when I can give them a solution to sell their home, guess what? That solves the problem and brings the energy down. So for me, mindset is critical, and I go into problem solving mode. I don't get involved in the energy. I
Is
understand where
there
it's
any
coming from.
breathing? Do you kind of
Oh, I
breathe through the
always breathe.
situation? Or you got somebody fired on the phone. Are you breathing through
Well, you
it?
listen, number one, first of all, don't interrupt them. When it comes to energy, people sometimes just want to be heard. And for me, I recognize that as, when it comes to emotional intelligence, I know that if somebody has something to share that is with a lot of energy on their end, you have to validate it.
You don't interrupt them,
No,
and you don't take it on.
I don't take it on. It's not my issue.
Breathe and listen.
Breathing is important because it allows me to understand the energy as well. I'm big on breathing, so I can breathe in their energy to understand what it is that they're feeling. And once I recognize that, I can sympathize and recognize it and share that with them. And once they know that I understand it, it kind of lowers the level of the intensity. So now that I've understood it and I share what I hear with them after they've said it, it calms the situation, and then I can share a solution. If it works for them, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But then at that point, they know that I've heard and I'm aware. And so that's been my secret sauce.
Yeah,
Just
I think too, and this is a personal share, and I know you have your own experiences with this. We have our own noise. Like there's the noise out there, and then we have our own noise. Any kind of noise. It could be scarcity, lack, insecurities. It could be coming from real data, like your bank account's drained, or it could be coming from the illusion of data, which is afraid that your bank account's going to be drained. Regardless, that is a challenge for so many people. I know for me, it's a constant countering. There is this humanness that is running a track, a tape that's creating, we can call it noise, its own truth. And it's understanding and acknowledging that, and just being aware of what your humanness is firing, but then going, does this have to be the truth I own? And the answer is no. Well, what truth do I want to own? It's tougher when the data actually is real, that your bank account is at zero. But when you can breathe and go, okay, what can I do today? How can I feel today if I want to take back my life in this moment? What actions can I take? What activities can I do? What thoughts can I create right now in a positive way? Because if I'm truly at zero in the bank account, then that is the most important thing I could do to change the direction of my life. And it's really tough for people to do. It's been tough for me in the past. This is not something that says, oh, just say it and do it, because why not? It's easy. It is not easy.
right.
It's very tough to do. But man, when you do it, and especially from a place of great challenge, the foundation you create for yourself, the truth you create in yourself, and the story you create for yourself that is greater than the human story becomes your everyday life.
That's very true. We're in the people business, and we have to be in front of people to be able to create those networks and relationships that we want. If our bank account is at zero and you're at home sitting there on your couch, a opportunity is not literally going to come knocking at your door while you're sitting at your couch waiting for it to happen. You have to create some momentum, some energy yourself to be able to do something. So with energy creates energy. For me, I know that I have to get out of my house every day and be in front of people whether it's through this, whether it's through emails, whether it's through phone calls, whether it's through networking, whether it's through dinners, lunches. I'm always getting in front of someone because you never know who may need you or who may connect you with someone that needs you. And for me, I have an incredible referral base based on people that know me and people that I've done business with over the years that know that I deliver great results. So as a result, they send me more business. I don't wait for it at home to come and tell me that I want to sell my house, knock at my door. It doesn't work that way. You have to get out there and give it some momentum, some inertia so that actually something happens. And so if you are not present, again, people do business with people, not with businesses. So it doesn't matter if whatever company you're at, you have to get out and introduce yourself and offer your value. And if people don't know you, how are they going to find you?
Yeah. The energy changes first, the mindset changes first, and then you feed that energy, that mindset. You feed the action with that energy and mindset. And that's really what you said there is you got to have action. You got to put the energy and the mindset that is in this greater truth of you to work in actions and push that energy through to whatever actions you're doing.
As you walk out of your door, check yourself, check your energy. Because if I'm walking out with a cloud over me and I want to meet people and I show up with a cloud over me, that is not going to be the most effective way to introduce myself. So energy creates energy and attracts energy. If I have an incredible positive energy walking out my front door and meet people with that energy, guess what? They want to be around me.
Yeah.
They want to feed off of that. They want to share that. And what happens is you end up being searched for instead of you chasing.
Mm-hmm.
And so what ends up happening is when you are a light coming in the door and have great presence, great energy, great influence, people know that they want to be around you and work with you.
Yeah. And I say, check your energy before every action. Every
Absolutely.
text you send out,
Mm-hmm.
every email, what is your intention?
Every phone call.
What is the energy behind all of these things? You start getting a call no matter who it is. And you just take a breath first, connect to yourself, answer the phone with that kind of presence before you send a text. Take a breath, connect to yourself. Emails. If you're going to go and do an open house, all of the things that you're doing, and this isn't easy work to do,
Right.
but it is so valuable and it makes such a huge difference.
Mindset is critical, and breathing for me has been a way to change my energy at times. If I don't feel well, breathing exercises really help me bring that energy back in. And so what we need to remember is that life is breath.
Yeah.
And breathing is critical to creating the energy that we want. And so as we get so stressed, we end up being tight. Our chests are tight or tighter, which means you breathe less or less deeper breaths, which brings your energy down, which showcases then to people around you, where instead, before you walk out that door, expand those lungs, breathe it in, bring that life in, bring that energy in, and step outside shining with full of that.
Yeah.
And guess what? It really is infectious.
Yeah. It's funny. I woke up this morning irritable for no reason. I figured out it was some dreams. I remembered some dreams. I'm like, oh, no wonder I'm irritable. I had some irritable dreams. I woke up this morning. I was irritable. And my humanness wanted to hold tight to that energy. And I'm like, no. And I'm breathing. And I actually told Nick, I'm like, hey, just so you know, I'm a little irritable. I want to apologize in advance if I'm short. Because we're humans first. And no matter who, I've been doing this personal mental work for over 20 years. And I woke up irritable and all I just did was work on my breath. And it took a minute and I had to fight my own humanness that was wanting to resist. And then I even did some saging on myself and I finally released it. And it was just stuff from a dream. And it's really beautiful when you can appreciate your emotions, be aware of them, appreciate them, but then counter them. And the breath is huge. If you do some extra things like sage is really just this beautiful plant that Native Americans have used for years. It assists in cleansing the energy. So you break off a few leaves, you light it, and it creates a smoke, and that smoke helps to cleanse your energy of heaviness. And there, I can feel it like that. Like I go from feeling irritable to like gone just from, because we just have energy that just, and it just can't exist when you run in that sage
I
through.
will say, Al, you came in one day and trained our entire team on breathing exercises, and it has made an impact. It really has made an impact on the team. So even when we ourselves, or when I see a team member come in that energy is low, the rest of the team is like, go do some breathing exercises. And they actually do come back like, wow, I forget. Because yes, our humanness takes over. And what ends up happening is that you forget, you get so caught up in the daily stress, in the dream in your case, and you wake up tight chested and you don't understand what's going on. But what I will say is, doing the breathing exercises for me and even for my team, I notice immediately how that it's like drinking several cups of coffee. It just brings you alive, brings a lot of energy into you. And I'm very aware every morning when I am, if I had a long day the day before, or a late dinner because I was with a client and I didn't sleep well because it was such a late night. I wake up the next morning, I'm like, oh, let's get this addressed.
Yeah.
And honestly, those breathing exercises for me have been incredible.
Yeah, and that was just a dream. So imagine somebody who just lost a loved one,
Yeah,
or
that's
is
hard.
having their first baby, or somebody who just broke up with a partner. It's crazy to. There's so many beautiful yet challenging human experiences we all go through, and so I am not illusioned that to think that, oh, this is just easy work. It's not. And I know after 20 years, if I can wake up irritable from a dream, I know that somebody else is going through something of way bigger a potential consequence. Like they're struggling too. And so for me, I just share a lot of love and understanding, and also a lot of human just awareness with them, because like, listen, this is real. Whatever time that you need to address the human part of this, just manage, because it's a lot of humanness. And then, but when you're ready, let's get into this truth. Let's get into this mindset. Let's get into this space. It may not be easy right now if it just happened, but when you're ready, let's get here, because this will be your greatest path out.
I think we forget at times, Al, that we deal with a lot of marketing stimulation, information stimulation, news, that we forget how subconsciously how that's impacting us, or consciously how that's impacting us. It's important, and you taught me this as well. It's important to have quiet time. I have a space in my house. It's actually, I have a closet big enough that there's a chair in there that I sit there, and I can just have a few minutes with myself, just quietly close my eyes and just breathe, and just really focus on just emptying out the noise, and being so conscious of where I'm at. Where's my body? Where's my mind? How's my soul? And it allows me to connect, I would say, and that really allows me to shed whatever else is coming my way, and just understand where I am physically, mentally, and emotionally, and so that when I move forward, I can at least recognize it and hopefully deal with it before I step out the door.
It takes a lot of practice. Well, honestly, you're an amazing human being. I'm so happy for where you're at. I'm excited to see what your brokerage does and how much it grows over the next few years, because if it's anything like your personal business, it's going to be big and beautiful.